Listen, if you're someone looking to get into day trading or you just started your day trading journey and you're still a little lost, then perfect. This video is for you. My name is JJ, or on any social medias, I go by Low GPA. Essentially, I've been trading for about 1.5 years now. So I'm making this video for beginner traders because if I was to go back in time and restart, this is all the steps I'd want to do. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Let me move my big ass head out the way. Don't worry about any of this. Let's just start on number one, okay? So the very first step you want to do if you're going to get into day trading is get yourself a notebook. I know it sounds really, really dumb and it sounds really stupid, but if you don't know anything, you're going to have to take it a lot of notes and you're going to have to treat it like essentially school, okay? So go to the store, get a notebook, get some pens, whatever. Boom. Okay, let's say you got your notebook. Then you're going to want to go either to your laptop, your PC, or whatever the hell you trade on, and you're going to want to download TradingView. TradingView is 100% free. Essentially what it is it shows the charts to everything, including cryptocurrency, right? Futures trading, forexes, normal stocks, all of the above, okay? So that's literally your tool to learn the charts and everything. From there, let's say you got yourself a notebook and you downloaded TradingView, okay? You're either going to watch My Beginner's Blueprint to Success or TJR's Trading Transformation. Now, these two things are relatively the same, and I know everyone says watch TJR's Bootcamp, but I would like to say the Trading Transformation is a better form of the Bootcamp due to the fact that it's essentially the same thing. However, it's just structured a lot better in my own opinion. So, and then same thing with My Beginner's Blueprint, right? I made a beginner's blueprint literally for beginners, right? It says it in the name. So they can learn the basic concepts first, and then later on in the series, we can start getting into the more intermediate stuff, so on and so forth. So whether you choose me or the Trading Transformation or the Bootcamp, whatever you guys want to watch, okay, you're going to watch each video 2 times. 2 to 3 times. Why? Well, because you're not going to fully grasp it the first time. And trading is, well, at first, it's severely complicated. But once you fully understand everything, I promise you it's a cakewalk. It's a cakewalk. Okay? So, let's say you watch each video 2 to 3 times and you take notes, and you're still not grasping it. Well, go back, review your notes, or you can then find someone else on YouTube or TikTok and look up what concept does not make sense, and then see if they describe it better. Okay? So, Beginner's Blueprint or Trading Transformation. Watch each video 2 to 3 times and you guys are going to take massive amounts of notes. Next to me is a notebook absolutely filled with notes from when I first started trading. And I mean absolutely filled with notes. There's about maybe 25 to 40 pages in there, front and back, just filled with notes. I also have another notebook next to me from when I first started. So that is really going to help you, especially when you first start. So say you watch everything, you understand the basics, right? What you're going to want to do next is you're going to want to go and find a mentor, okay? Now, I prefer finding a smaller mentor to start off, whether it's me or someone else. Obviously, I'm going to be biased towards me. All my stuff is 100% free, right? I have Discord links. I have my TikTok that I give out free knowledge. I don't do it for the money. I don't do it for the views. I do it strictly to help people. However, you're going to want to find a smaller mentor because they're going to have more one-on-one time for you, right? Let's use TJR as an example. Say you go to TJR and you want him to mentor you. Well, he's not going to have enough time to mentor a very basic person, right? A very beginner. Why? Well, because he has businesses he has to run. He's a very busy guy, right? He's one of the biggest in the space. So he's not going to have time for you in one-on-one time, especially when you're asking dumbass questions. And that's fine that you ask dumbass questions because everyone does when they first start, right? But what I'm getting at is if you find a smaller creator, such as myself, we have the time to incorporate one-on-one calls, right? You guys can ask those dumbass questions. I don't think any question's dumb because if it doesn't make sense, why not ask the question, right? But let's say you ask those dumb questions. I can explain it to you in a way that if it makes sense, great. If it doesn't make sense, then we can research it together and I can try to restructure it in a way that it makes sense to you, right? Because everyone is different. So that's why I suggest finding a smaller mentor. Now, say you do pick a mentor. You're going to want to stick with that mentor Because they're going to have a strategy that's set in place, that has a solidified win rate, that has been back tested over and over and over again. Okay. So with that being said, I have two strategies I use, but they're the same thing, right? So one's a continuation model and one is essentially like a pre-distribution model, right? But it's essentially the same thing. I enter off inversions. I know this sounds like gibberish language to you guys, but I have a whole, go watch my beginner's blueprint. I explain everything for you. But okay, you're going to want to pick a mentor and stick to them and learn what they are teaching you, right? You're going to have to trust them. And if you don't trust them, then that's fine. You just go to a different mentor. But you don't, say they teach you a strategy and you lose your first two trades. Just because you lost doesn't mean you should go to another one, another mentor or another strategy. Okay, strategy hopping is very bad. We want to pick a strategy and stick to it and master. Why? Because if we try to incorporate all these strategies together, well, then we're just going to be severely or it's just going to be complicated, right? And we're going to be overwhelmed, this and that, right? Backstory, real quick, before we move on. When I first started trading, I was learning a strategy. I would win, and then I'd lose like 200 rounds. I'm like, man, I don't like the strategy anymore. I'd go learn a new one. Okay, and then I would try to incorporate the old stuff I learned with the new stuff I'm learning, and it was just making it so much harder. So the day I picked a strategy and decided to master it, everything went up from there, okay? And how do we master that strategy, you might say? Well, we're going to be backtesting that strategy over and over. So 1 week's worth of data a day, especially when you're first starting. Now, you're probably like, a week's worth of data in a day. It's not hard. It should take you maybe 3 to 4 hours, okay? Say you trade New York AM session, you're going to go on TradingView and see these numbers at the bottom right here. You're just going to go to 9:30. You're going to mark the session open like this, right? Say this is 9:30. And then you're going to find a big move down and you're going to want to see why that leg moved down. That's essentially how you backtest. Now, I have a full video on how to backtest in the beginner's blueprint, so go check that out. But yeah, we're going to want to backtest a week's worth of data a day. And then after about maybe a week in real time backtesting over and over and over again, we should have the strategy set in place and there should be no issues, right? Now, granted, the live market is a lot different than backtesting. So obviously we're going to have to learn in the live market, but at least when we backtested, now we know what we're looking for in the live market, right? Now, you're not going to win every trade. It's still going to be pretty complicated. The only way you really learn in trading is by losing. And I promise you that is literally the only way you're going to learn is by losing. So don't take your losses as a loss. Take them as a lesson, right? So say once we're done backtesting, we're then going to go and demo trade the live markets for 3 to 4 weeks. Now, demo trading is basically paper trading. So you're trading with fake money. And you're going to be like, well, I want to get rich. I don't want to trade with fake money. Guys, the biggest mistake I made when I first started was thinking this was a get rich quick scheme or get rich quick career, however you want to put it. I promise you that's not the case. This takes time, effort, dedication, delusion, okay? Your work ethic has to be top tier. You can't treat this half-assed because as soon as you start treating this half-assed, good luck. That's all I have to say. Good luck. You will not succeed. Okay? You will be part of the other 99% that does not succeed. And you will not be part of that 1%. I can assure you that. So, you're going to demo trade it 3 to 4 weeks minimum. Okay? Minimum. And I know it's annoying that you're not going to be making money and that the trades you win, you can be like, man, I could be winning this money right now. No. Stop it. Take your time. This is not a get rich quick scheme. The more time you have in trading and in the live markets, the better you will be. And I promise you that. Okay. So say after 3 to 4 weeks, you feel very confident. You know what you're looking for in the live markets. Then what are we going to do? We're going to go over to either Top Step, My Funded Futures, okay, Alpha Futures, or Take Profit Trader. And we're going to go buy a funded account. Now, I'm going to be using TopStep as an example because that is the most well-known in the trading space, right? So TopStep is a prop firm. And you might be asking, well, what's a prop firm? A prop firm is a company that invests its own capital in the financial markets, right? So the trader will take on an evaluation, or let's say a test phase, right? Where you have to make a certain amount without losing a certain amount, right? So there's different account sizes. You can have a 50K, you can have 100K, you can have 150K. They're all relatively the same thing. The only thing that varies between them is how much you can lose and how much you have to make in order to pass the evaluation phase. So I'm just going to use 50Ks in this example because that's all I have ever used, right? Like I said, they're all the same thing, but I personally prefer 50K. So for a 50K account, you have to make $3,000 without losing $2,000. Okay. So say for whatever reason we pass the account, right? We'll now be moved up to an XFA. So the eval stage, which is the first stage, the test stage, costs $50. Okay. Once you pass the test stage, you're then going to have to pay another $150 to get your XFA, right? Which is essentially a live funded account where your balance now starts at 0, and whatever profits you make, you keep a certain percentage, and Top Step takes a certain percentage, right? So on Top Step, the first $10,000 you make, well, it's all yours, right? And then after that $10,000, whatever you make from there, it's a 90-10 split. So say we make another $10,000, you'll keep $9,000, and they'll take $1,000. Why? Well, because you're essentially trading with their funds at the end of the day, right? They're putting up the capital. All you're doing is essentially trading with their funds, okay? So that is what a prop firm is. Now, say we receive a payout on our first XFA account, okay? What are we going to do with that money? Are we going to go spend it on alcohol? Are we going to go spend it on drugs? Are we going to go party and celebrate? Nope. What are we going to do? What is this last bullet point? We're going to reinvest it into yourself, okay? So we're going to scale multiple accounts. So say we take a $2,000 payout on our first account, okay? We're going to take that $2,000 and we're going to go buy more accounts and copy trade them, okay? So Top Step has a system implemented where you can have up to 5 accounts, okay? So essentially if you make $200 in a day and you copy trade 5 accounts, well, that is $1,000 a day. So we're going to scale multiple accounts by reinvesting the money into ourselves. Now, when you buy those other 4, you're going to have to go through the evaluation phase again, pay those $50 per account. And then once you pass the evaluation on each account, you're going to have to pay the extra $150 per account to then get the XFAs. But let's say you pass all your accounts and you copy trade. Now, what did I just say? Your $200 days now turn into $1,000 days. Why? Because 200 times 5 is 1,000. So that's how you can scale these prop firms and absolutely rinse them for bread. It's really that simple. So if I was to go back in time, I would have learned that a lot sooner. However, what did I do? I would buy a funded account and just literally full port it and blow it. Okay, so back to the drawdown limit. So you have to make $3,000 without losing $2,000. What was I doing? Well, I was essentially just risking $2,000 per trade, and then my stop loss would get hit, and then boom, I have to spend another $50. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our time with these accounts, right? Trading is a time-based game. You only learn with the more time in the live markets, okay? You cannot rush this. So come up with a risk management plan. Again, I have an entire video dedicated to risk management in my beginner's blueprint. And once you have proper risk management, now for 50Ks, I would like to risk anywhere from 0.5% to 1% of the account. So what is that? Let's take $50,000 times 1%. So you're going to be risking $500 per trade. And again, you have to make $3,000. So let's say you win 6 trades in a row. Boom. Your profit target has been hit. And now you're going to get moved up to the XFA where you can actually start trading with essentially fake money, but that fake money can turn into real money once you win trades, right? So you're trading with the prop firm's money, and then again, once you're done trading with the prop firm's money, you can take a payout or request a payout. They have to accept it, but you can then request a payout, and Top Step really never denies anything, so that's why I prefer them. So again, if I was to go back and do it all over again, right, I would stick to this plan right here, right? Get yourself a notebook, download TradingView. TradingView is going to be your best friend, right? You're either going to watch My Beginner's Blueprint or you're going to go over to TJR's Trading Transformation and you're going to watch that. After you guys have implemented all those concepts together and fully understand them after watching each video 2 to 3 times each, right? You're going to find a mentor. Like I said, you're probably going to want to find a smaller mentor so they can have more of that one-on-one time with you. Once you find a mentor, you're going to adapt their strategy and you're going to master that strategy and stick to it, right? We do not want a strategy hop. Once we adapt that strategy, we're going to go and back test that strategy in the markets, right? And you can do it on TradingView. And we're going to do a week's worth of data per day. And we're going to do that for about a week, right? 2 weeks. That's all you really need. And then from there, we're going to demo trade again on TradingView for another month or so, minimum. And we're going to get that live market experience while demo trading. And once you become profitable on demo, then what are we going to do from there? Well, then we're going to go on to Top Step. We're going to buy an evaluation. You guys are going to pass that evaluation by staying disciplined and having great risk management. Okay? And what are we going to do with that first payout? You're not going to spend it on some dumb ass shit. You're going to reinvest it into yourself so you can now have 5 accounts and you can absolutely rinse these prop firms for money, okay? And then it's a rinse and repeat method over and over and over again. And that's literally it. That's how you become a day trader, really. That's how you become a successful day trader. It's literally just this right here. Now, it's going to take a mental toll on you. It's not going to be easy. But if you truly believe in yourself and you have the delusion in yourself and you're obsessed with trading like I am, you will make it. And I promise you, you will. So like I said, go check out my or TJR stuff. I will leave links in the description to both of those. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, low GPA, and then obviously hit the sub button to the YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped. Yeah, you guys, and have a great rest of your night.